And welcome back, Barton Lynch.
Good to be here. Oi, amigos, como vai? Friends around the world, welcome to the Stoked Bloke Show. This is a special edition where we're going to look at the BL Blast Off Global Video Challenge presented by GoPro, and this special edition is brought to you by a New Earth Project, and massive thanks to the Pipeline Studios and a New Earth Project for supporting the Stoked Bloke Show, supporting Blast Off. We've got some exciting news later in this show to share with the people, the kids, about a new category that's going to be added, but it has been a fantastic start to the event, week one, and we've received videos from the US, Florida, Virginia, Utah, New Jersey, North Carolina, and Hawaii.
And this is for the BL Blast Off, which is, explain that a little further. It used to be a physical event with 42,000 kids in Australia. It seemed like it would literally fill up the night you announced entries were available. It would fill up across Sydney, and kids obviously from all over Australia. So where are we at now? Are we in the virtual submission world?
Yeah, so this event, this Blast-Off idea was all about coaching kids, not judging them. And you imagine when their kids and their families are at events and they hear a 3.29, last wave 4.23, 7.68, 3.95, two-wave total 7.58, first, second, third, and all they get is this barragement of numbers. And the parents stand there on the beach trying to make any sense of the numbers.
Wow, it's like being in a concentration camp and you're given a number.
Yeah, well, for every ride, aren't you?
Wow.
And you're not giving any advice or direction on why you got that number. So my idea with Blast Off was that we weren't going to score rides, we weren't going to judge kids, we were going to coach them. And the reason it became successful was because kids would go out and surf their heat. We would video the two banks, so both heats at the same time. The judges were coaches and ex-pro surfers who would evaluate the performance and give them a paragraph of coaching on what they did right, what they did wrong. They would go to the Hurley Surf Club van, watch the heat and have that advice explained to them by a coach.
Wow. And
then they would go home and come back the next day and do it all over again. And we did those events for 14 years. We were underway in an international expansion from the Sydney event we took it to Bali, ran it at Bingen. It was amazing. We were going to the Maldives, to Kandooma, and then the COVID thing happened and those physical events got shut down, and that's when we pivoted to an online video challenge, which was an idea I'd had for a while, and I thought this will work. But whether the thing with Blast Off was that we didn't think about demographics and appealing to a certain group. We focused on doing our thing and doing our thing well, and figured that the demographic would figure itself out. And in the end, the best kids in the country would want to win the event and be in it, and because of the formatting and how user-friendly, child-friendly, family-friendly it was, we got all the first-timers. It was the first big event that any kid did. So we had the first-timers and the best kids in the country all in the water together and all having a good time, and it was working. So I didn't know if that would transfer over to the video online space, and it did. All of a sudden we've got kids who on their very first rides through to the best kids in the world, Erin Brooks and her company and those surfers of that level. So we were able to transfer that sentiment and that feeling of that we're here to, our two pillars are stoke and progression. We're all about getting better and we're all about getting people stoked. And it transferred into the online space. This is the third year of it as an online video challenge, and week one's done.
And who votes and who decides who's who, and is it you? Is it all you?
No, it's not all me. Well, yeah, I do a lot of it. So in these early weeks, we start getting the videos, and we give it prizes away every single day of the 6 weeks. So we run for 6 weeks. October 21st to December 2nd.
And it used to be a weekend,
yes,
to be a blast off, because it was the weekend before going back to school.
Yeah, it was the start of the summer or the spring school holidays. So we were blasting off summer down there, and we have a blast with family and friends and blast off the kids surfing.
Who were some people on the WSL tour that were in the blast off?
Well, Tyler Wright won the very first one in 2006. Wow. And then all the way through from there, it's nearly all of those Australian professional surfers who have come through over the last bunch of years have partaken in that program, and it's something that I've literally been told by kids at the event, hey Barton, Blast Off is better than Christmas. And, I've had that type of positivity.
Like
and now,
Father Surfing Christmas.
That was before I looked like this. So it's definitely going to be Christmas this year. And we go into December, so there's that giving spirit.
You don't prize a day?
Every single day. for the 6 weeks. We send prize packs to kids all around the world. And so far,
oh my gosh,
this week,
so this is the first week.
This is week one.
This is kind of exciting. What do we got?
So the very first entry received is always the keenest grommet award, because they've got their entry in first. That went to the girls' 12s, and it was Auburn Hilly from Florida, 12-year-old little girl who absolutely rips, a goofy footer, and I know she rides for Roxy. I know Lisa Anderson's helping her out, and she's got a big future, but she was the very first entry, the keenest grommet. So congratulations, Auburn. Then we gave a Stoke Award where this kid, Dane Gray, he came to Hawaii on a holiday because he fell in love with surfing watching YouTube. And watching surfing on YouTube. He's 6 years old. He's six. The parents come to Hawaii for a holiday. They go to Jamie O'Brien's Surf Experience and have their first session there.
I mean, this is recent.
Yeah, this year. Yeah, just a few months ago. And then they came and saw me, and I took them for a surf at Sunset Point, and they go, there's all this footage of Dane, 6-year-old from Utah, on his very first waves. And so we gave him a Stoke Award because it just puts smiles on our faces. Our Performance Award went to Nike and Kawhi Pearson. These two boys, 5 and 7 they were. They got a Future pack and a Sunbum pack, and Dane Gray got a Hurley pack. And then for some action and some froth, a young kid from Virginia, JB2 is his name, and his mum, they got a Spy Optics pack because the mum's the frothiest mum maybe in surfing. She's epic.
What did you say the kid's name was?
JB2.
JB2.
Yep.
That is simple.
Instagram at JB2Supergrom.
That's great.
So he's and they've been in the event before as well. And then we gave a Stoke Award, which was a Hurley ANZ, the Hurley Australia pack, to Everly Morgan. And then we gave a couple of improvement awards to Indy Lee Riddell from New Zealand and Lola Stiles from Australia, because they were in it last year. And then you see their videos and you see how far they've come in a year. And so we gave them an Amazon Power and a Shark Bands pack for what, for their improvement that they've shown during the week. And then I suppose the highlight of the week is the high performance clip of the week. That's sort of each week, we're going to do 5 more of these shows week by week and update everyone on what's been going on. But that was won by a 13-year-old, Caden Awad from Maui. He absolutely rips, this kid. He actually rides for Hurley too, as a side note. He won the high performance clip of the week, and we'll be announcing that tomorrow. We got a Best Tube nominee from Oshia Curtis from Lennox Head, a Nias barrel of hers, which is super cool. And that I foresee
How old is
that. I think she's 11 or 12, yeah.
And she went to Nias.
Yeah.
This was an unreachable location when I was growing up. We heard about this place in the jungle in the farthest remote regions of the earth, where you had to battle death, disease, tsunamis, reef that would bite you. And this is a 13-year-old girl that...
Maybe younger, yeah.
And turned in
Girls 12s.
And got someone to film her and turned in a pretty good barrel from Nias.
A 6 stand-up.
The world is wide open to us, isn't it?
Yeah, and then, it's wide open. And that's what the video challenge has done too for Blast Off, is it's connected us with this global community of grommets. And we get videos from last year from 22 different countries, young kids in fishing villages in India, through to the Philippines, through to Canary Islands. And we've really sort of started to reach out globally and create this community of frothing families who just love surfing.
Let's give away an award where you and we go somewhere, like pick a reason for a winner, and we go and do a documentary on them, on the family.
This is exactly my thought.
Let's go.
The Blast Off project, and being able to go to these places when you get these videos and there's this community of kids there. Canary Islands, they've got an amazing base of incredible talent there. And Maui was one of those places too. The first video challenge, the videos that came in from the kids from Maui was just mind-blowing. So each year you see these little hot spots, and even individual entries that just, the young girl from the fishing village in India was one of those ones that just lit my heart up. I was like, we've got to go down there and sneak in. And they don't even know you're coming. And then one afternoon they go down to the beach and Blast Off's there, and we coach them and, have a ball with the kids and create some content. That would be epic.
Unreal, yeah.
Really would. So, there's been an amazing response for the first week. We've had some good lessons in that, music is always an issue. And
copyright music, you mean, with submissions? Because, of course, someone submits a video with a really cool song and it really helps amp you up when you're watching it, but you can't use it on YouTube and stuff. So you have to get rid of their soundtrack sometimes and use a generic one or nothing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of copyright websites and apps, copyright free, where you can go to, and we provide those to the kids and suggest they go there. But we can't accept those entries that have got the very hugely famous tracks on them, and they end up getting us all into trouble. So that's always something. Then every video we receive, PK, gets coached. And I have a panel myself. I comment on every video, and then Brad Gerlach from Wave Key, and Ger's doing that, and Wave Key are doing with us. Bo Mitchell, Dario Matoso from Spain, and then our mate Philippe Malvoy, who's done a lot of coaching with Carissa and the Hurley teams over the years. Those guys, collectively, we comment on every video and give the kids the coaching advice. And the idea is that they put their videos in earlier, they get the coaching advice, they go work on it, send us in more videos, and we spend the 6 weeks together focusing on getting better.
And where do people see these videos and submit?
So you submit at bartonlynch.com. It's all hosted at my website there, and then all the videos are on YouTube, and all the coaching advice is there on YouTube, because you can look at any of those.
And you're saying it wrong. It's not YouTube. I'm kidding.
YouTube.
When you go to YouTube, where do you go to see it?
There's the hashtags, #BL Blast Off.
And you'll get there.
There. And they're all at bartonlynch.com too, all the videos. And then the coaching advice, you can go straight from bartonlynch.com to the YouTube video to see that coaching advice.
I'm sort of sensing that this is a little bit of work.
Yeah, it's a little bit of work. It used to be my winter job, and so during winter when I'd be just snow and towing all winter in Australia, and I'd just at the end of the day, at the end of snowboarding all day, I'd sit there and do my job and create the event. And the online space is in ways easier to work in, and then in other ways not. But it's it's successful, and we're crushing
That's
it.
Cool.
So for the
week
kids,
1 is done.
Yeah, well, for the kids to get their coaching advice, just quickly, get in
early.
You need to turn comments on for your video, because when you load a video to YouTube, it will turn the comments off automatically if you're a child. Because
I upload a lot of stuff to YouTube, and sometimes you forget that you made it private, or they ask, "Is this for all ages?" There's little idiosyncrasies, so the parents or the kids have to be pretty savvy when they're uploading this.
And just turn on the comments after the fact, so that
comments.
That's been the big lesson of the first week. Really, has been turn the comments on. It was every time you run it, there's something you don't know. And you bump, and that was what came up. So turn your comments on, kids, so that the coaches can go there, give you that feedback, and we can all learn and grow together. Because you can watch all the other people's videos and see the advice on it, and look at the video and learn from everybody else's. It's not just your own that you can learn from. So even people who aren't in the event, they can watch it.
Oh, that's great. When you have a coach, that coach is talking to you. You're not hearing that coach talk to someone else, and it might be helpful to hear. Oh, okay, so that guy was in a different situation from me, but I'm going to be in that situation. You're hearing what's being said to that person. So
you see the way their technique works, and they're given direction otherwise, and it can really resonate with you. So it's a powerful thing if you use that coaching profitably, purposefully for yourself. Now, news. We've got the news. A New Earth project have come on board as our sustainability partner. And obviously sustainability is one of those most important of things for all of us as we contemplate what we do and how we build our businesses, our lives, our homes. And so to have a sustainability partner on board and look after and give us advice and direction on creating this event in the most sustainable way, connecting with the companies who are sending out the product to all the kids around the world, all the prize packs, and helping them to do that in the most efficient fashion. And then on top of that, we're going to introduce a new category. And this category kind of takes us out of the water and onto the land, and that's what I love about it. In the physical blast-off events, we used to have blast-off idol and the skate nights and art and all of these other activities outside of the water and the beach. And this category, the clean-up category, is going to do that very same thing. So what we want to see, kids, we want to see videos of you and your friends doing good things in your community. And it could be anything really, but the whole clean-up thing and cleaning up the beaches and stuff is something we'd love to see footage of you doing in your hometown with your friends. It might be that there's an old lady on the corner whose grass is overgrown and you go over and mow it. and do something nice for her, whatever it is. We just want to see a bit of giving back to the community and a little bit of, that sort of educational, inspiring behaviour from the grommets, from the kids, and we're going to be giving away prizes. And we've got some big announcements, prizes as well. So we'll announce this prize for the clean-up category, sponsored by a New Earth project. We'll announce the prizes for that next week.
That's cool.
It's very cool, and it's great to have a category that sees us doing good things, sees us doing good work in the community, and so we can't wait to see your guys' entries. That page, to be able to upload those videos, will be up and running today. So get those clean-up videos into us, and big thank you to New Earth Project for coming on board.
That's cool. Did you just get back from somewhere, Barton?
Mate, I did. I just got back from French Polynesia, although I hate calling it French Polynesia. Let's call it Polynesia.
Can you call it Tahiti?
Yes, I did. I got back from Tahiti, and I got to go over there and see my daughter Tamarin for the first time in 2 years.
Wow.
And she's 27 years of age, and we're besties, and it's a long time to not see your kids, 2 years. And in that time, she'd been pregnant, which I never got to see her pregnant. I never got to witness and feel and be engaged in that moment, which is a little bit of a scar that I carry, or a little bit of a chip that I carry about the pandemic, and and the impact of that on me not being able to engage with your daughter, but to get there now, and that little baby that was in her belly be born is now a year old, and she would look up at her granddad and go,
wow, pretty good trip, huh?
Oh, it was fantastic, mate. I had a couple of hugs with my granddaughter that were the best hugs of my life, where I could just feel this melting away of anything between the two of us, and this connection where I was like, I could feel my lineage in her. Wow. You know what I mean? You could feel it. And so see your grandchild, see your daughter so happy, so healthy, and the full circle of life have played out in front of me was one of the greatest gifts, one of the greatest days, one of the greatest trips of my life. I loved it.
That's so great. You think they'll get to come here to Hawaii?
Yeah, we hope so. That's the plan, to spend more time together and be able to get down there more and spend more time with them, and just not let it be another couple of years before we do that. But it was one of those things that really touched me deeply.
So the bloke was stoked.
The bloke was so stoked, I was crying. I was just shedding tears at certain points because I was just so happy for my daughter, so happy for the way that they're living. They have an amazing life down there. They're both vegan. His family have a 16-acre farm that's a food jungle, and they go there twice a week and to the farm and fill the tray of the truck up and come back down with more food than you can eat, and share it with people, and just live off the land. And there is no possible way there could be a food shortage. You know what I mean? You look at the rest of the world and talk of food shortages and whatever else, whatever other fear campaigns are being directed at us, and over there it just melts away.
Not a lot of supply chain issues.
No, it's like as long as you got you can get to the farm and up the hill, you're good to go, mate. Food forever. All right. Another announcement really with regards to prizes for the event. We ordinarily don't like to focus too much on the prizes because in theory, being a part of the community, being part of the events, the reward.
The coaching.
Yeah, the coaching, all
feedback,
of that. Yeah.
Connectivity,
global connectivity with other kids your age around the world. And I remember last year seeing Leilani, a young girl from the Byron Bay area, talking to Ruby, a young girl from Maui, saying, I can't wait to come to Hawaii and visit you. Maybe you could teach me hula. And she's like, yeah, I'd love to come to Australia, see a koala. And you see that interaction of these kids and the connectivity at this point in time of a community coming together all around Stoke and surfing. Very cool. So, but there are prizes, and we do decide winners. And in all sorts of category, age divisions, 14s, 12s, 10s, 8s, 6s.
I like that Stoke awards are just as prevalent as performance awards.
100%. Even more so during the 6 weeks of the event. Everybody's a chance of winning something, and it's about we look at videos and just get stoked and go, okay, they're getting a prize, let's send them something. And the big prize and the big announcement from the Perfect Wave Travel Group, who are my travel partner, and I've done a lot of boat trips and coaching trips with them over the years, is that in 2023 we're getting back on that program. We're putting our Maldives boat trip and our Kandooma Resort coaching trips back on the schedule. The boat trip's already sold out, but there's spots for Kandooma. But also at Kandooma, the exciting thing for the Blast Off audience is that we're doing a Blast Off physical event. We're going to return to physical events for the first time in 3 years, and we're going to run one at Kandooma Resort. And there's amazing waves, there's an amazing location, and it's really is a bit of a dream come true to be able to go there and run an event.
What is it like there?
It's a piece of paradise.
Are you surfing off a boat or off the land?
Well, there's both. You know, you can go on the boat every day and there's all these breaks around there, but right at the resort out front is that Kandooma right, and it's a sick right-hander. I got the best barrel I had in the last couple of years there. When I went in 2019 was the last time we were there. I can still play this barrel. I dropped into this thing, grabbed the rail, and I felt like John. You know, there's those moments
Show us the video.
You feel like no video.
Show us the video.
I came out, there was no one on the beach. This is literally it. I'm running late for breakfast because the buffet closes, and I'm out there going, I'll get one more, and I got this sickest one. I look, there's no one there, no one on the beach. I run to the buffet, shovel food down my throat, and then go back and just fall into a coma.
So there's food? You don't starve?
No, and literally there is a dessert room. A big cold room full of desserts and cheeses, and
just
so
put a
keypad
on that and don't tell me the number.
For me too, man. I've got such a sweet tooth. But it's a great resort, great waves, variety of waves, and we're going to sort of have three categories. You know, for people who are still learning, you know, for the recreational level surfers, and then for the aspiring pros.
It's probably really nice for families that have a couple kids, one who's maybe a little more advanced, and then that beginner kid, so that wouldn't feel left out. That might be a perfect opportunity.
And even for kids that don't surf, family members that don't surf, the resort's amazing in itself. There's something for everyone.
It's not a bad hang.
It's a good hang for the surfers and for the non-surfers.
Might be a good place to do one of these podcasts.
I think we better do one of them. So massive thanks to the Perfect Wave for sticking with me.
That's cool.
They're stoked. I'm stoked to get back to running events and to doing my coaching trips, and to be able to celebrate that by giving away 2 trips to the Maldives Blast Off event. They're going to be 2 of the major prizes in this year's video challenge.
When is that?
That is April 2023.
That's a good time for waves down there?
Yeah, it's the start of the season, you know, so it's it's a good time. There's you know, obviously they're that southern hemisphere winter. And that's the start of it, and we start getting the waves that time of year. So that's very, very exciting, mate. Thanks to a New Earth Project and the Perfect Wave Travel Group for those prizes. You know, interesting things going on in the general surfing world, I suppose. I saw online that Italo Ferreira has opened his institute.
What does that mean?
Italo Ferreira Instituto. And I believe that's like...
Is he teaching dance or airs?
Backflips. He's a gymnast on a board, and I believe that these institutos, or these institutes of surfing, are where people go for fitness. They're like a gym as well, but then I'm sure they've got their surfing edge to it.
So it's a physical location, not an online program?
Absolutely, a physical location. The shop was him out the front of this beautiful building. Amazing looking building with the name emblazoned, Italo Ferreira Instituto. So it's a big
Penn
deal.
Has like the UFC gym, and it's more of the workout lifestyle that goes along with the performance of the sport. So maybe it's something like that.
Exactly. And when you think about it, Gabriel Medina has his further south in Brazil, and it's a sign of how progressive surfing is in that country. Surfers are able to open gymnasiums or facilities like national bodies do in other countries, right. And they're able to open these facilities themselves off the back of their surfing career and the reputation and credibility they've got from it.
It's great.
And I miss them. I miss this time of year. My body at this time of year is thinking world titles. It doesn't. I kind of flash and go, it's already done. There's nothing to look forward to, almost. And we've got a packed winter of events coming up. We've talked about, there's 3 events here at Pipeline. The Vans Pipeline Masters, which is more of a specialty event. There's the Billabong Pipeline Pro, which is the World Tour or World Championship Pipeline event, but it's the start of a new year, not the end of something. And then we've got the Backdoor Shootout. So it's kind of, it does get confusing, and for me emotionally, I feel a little bit empty right now. The Challenger Series is on. The surfers are in Brazil waiting to surf there. Then they come to Haleiwa, and that'll decide who gets in. But I feel like you've got to be a real core fan
to understand what's going on.
Yeah, to understand and to watch that, Challenger Series like you would a World Championship Tour event. So I do feel a little empty, but I suppose that's what gives. I saw Carissa Moore was in Japan doing her More Aloha functions and events.
So people have time off to do stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a 5-month gap before the tour starts up.
It's a big gap.
It's a big gap.
And it's a lot of no air, nothing coming out, no stories, no momentum to your sport. It feels a little empty at times, but
like you said, there's some events coming that feel like they're just not important. They're probably going to be fun. We'll be there for them.
Yeah,
and it will probably be fun. But with nothing on the line, it does take away that little bit of that edge.
And this time of year is kind of like crunch time for us.
It was supposed to be.
It's what it's always been, isn't it?
It's built into our character.
Totally.
This is the prove it or lose it moments, and now there's just nothing really on the line here in Hawaii.
That's what I'm feeling. It's not do or die. There's not a world title on the line, and so there's a lot of good stuff happening. It's going to be a great winter, always is. And you know what happened today, mate? The old fella hit 60,000 followers on Instagram.
You are super popular.
So I wanted to say thank you to all of them 60,000 people who
and you
are
get
following us.
$1 a month for each follower, right? That's the deal you have. So you're making $60K a month. Wouldn't it be nice? Love is worth more than money.
60,000 followers are worth more than money.
Are they really followers or are they fans?
Yeah, it's a good question.
When you follow someone,
they're good people, mate.
They are.
That's
how we define good people. If you're following,
defined by the comments and the good vibes they send and the stoke they give, and I just constantly, every day, get uplifted.
Oh, that's
by
cool.
A comment. You know what I mean? Someone says, "Oh, I love what you're doing," and you go, "Wow, sick." And you might say something, go, "Oh, bits," and then people come to your support.
It's
and go, "Hey,
fun to
we're
engage,
with you."
huh?
Yeah, because they're grateful that someone's saying something, and they sit at home and they might have a couple hundred followers, and they see someone with more saying something that they feel or that they agree with, and it creates community on a level that I think is so.
Speaking of people
powerful, but
that you follow,
yes.
Did you see Kai Lenny lately?
Yeah, no. Well,
he's always doing something silly, huh?
For me, I saw him do a double backflip on the foil, go flying up this ramp into 2 backflips, and that was the best thing I saw all week.
Have you talked to him about it?
No, I have not. Should we try ringing him or something?
Let me try ringing him.
Who?
We go knock on his door.
What? What do you mean?
Kai Lenny.
Oh, is he in there?
Yeah.
What? The Pipeline Studios, people. You just don't know who you're going to get. Here he is. Kai Lenny, mate. Come have a seat.
How come you never pick up your phone when we call?
Usually in the water, but I've always wanted to be on the Stoked Bloke podcast.
Yeah, brother. I was just saying that one of the best things I saw on Instagram for the week, or the last couple of weeks, was your double backflip on the foil.
Oh, nice.
And to an old bloke, that feels like something like out of the future, well and truly out of the future, even just the foil. Right?
True, yeah. I mean, it's just whatever keeps us occupied on the water, and, the foil is the great equalizer for bad surf. You feel like you're just surfing great waves when it's pretty mediocre, and then, the waves can be used as ramps. We watch enough motocross when these guys are doing all these crazy tricks on a, dirt bike. So, I mean, with a foil, as long as you stay strapped in, you can throw a double on a foil backflips easy.
And you say easy. Explain easy. So you've worked a lot in. We saw the snowboarding stuff and how you spent time on the snow learning the flips, right?
For me, it's been doing other sports kind of can help come into, what I love to do every single day here at home.
Yeah.
So snowboarding was like a great conduit to get comfortable in the air because you could hit the same ramp 100 times. And, I was landing in an airbag, so it didn't hurt. And you could land on your head and all these things, figure out the double rotation, go on the water. I guess it really is a lot easier than we our minds think it is. A double backflip on a foil, you just kind of got to go with enough speed up a steep enough wave and just lean back and look, and that's it. That's all there is to it. But your mind and your body is telling you, I don't want to be upside down flipping, but you kind of just got to picture where you're going to end up. And I think that's how you stay comfortable in flips. You know, if you're kind of like get disoriented or don't know where you're at upside down, that's when you extend and things go sideways and board comes off, and you know, you don't want that to happen.
Couple of things. What is next? What do you see as the extension after doubles?
I think triples after doubles, you know?
Must be.
I got to just start making doubles. I mean, I was doing some towing on the outer reefs the last few decent-sized swells we've had this winter thus far. And, you know, the problem was I was either under-rotating it because I wasn't hitting a big enough wave or going fast enough, or I was over-rotating and just going into a triple anyway. Mm-hmm. So actually a triple feels less scary to me now than a double, because with a double you don't have that certain height. And in order to get a triple, you have to hit the ramp really vertically, and you go straight up, and you get this kind of floaty feel. I figured this out snowboarding. Hard to describe, but like in snowboarding, you get this real floaty feel when you hit these ramps. Surfing, we tend to kind of go across the wave a lot when you're trying to keep the board to your feet or project, and straps just give you the ability to not worry about connecting to your board, but just kind of going. And on the triple, you end up just getting so floaty that when you fall on your back, like if you under rotate, doesn't actually hurt as bad as like falling on your back on a double, ironically.
Believe that. What about Matahi Drole and that taking the foil deeper and deeper into the girth of a wave, into the tube?
I mean, I just appreciate all those Tahitians, Matahi Drole especially, down in Tahiti, because they're just watermen and women, you know, like they live, breathe, eat out of the ocean. And they all come from fairly humble beginnings, but it's cool that they get like the recognition and, you know, support with all this cool equipment to do crazy stuff, because you know you're going to hand them something unique and they're going to do something wild. And with a foil, you know, I think the difficulty here trying to get barreled is all the best barreling waves here in Hawaii are often just surfed.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't take a foil into a crowd lineup, nor would anyone want that. But these guys, like Matai's the prince of Chopu.
Yeah.
Kind of can do whatever he wants, or seems that way. And man, the stuff he was doing, you know, getting barreled on these foils, it's just incredible. And it just pushes the level. And everyone's, I think, worst fear is, what would it be like to be in a barrel with a foil? Like, what if you fall, you know? But that's that risk factor. And I think the feeling must feel kind of cool, because, like, probably just floating on a cloud inside a barrel underwater, like, it's all conflicting. But when we went down there a couple years ago now, my plan was I want to get barreled with Matahi, like foiling. Not like in the same way, but I want to go out with him. It was just right when he was starting, and it turned out it was flat the whole time we were there and rainy. But we had a good time, and it was fun even watching him experiment with the e-foil. He had just gotten a brand new e-foil, and he was doing step-offs onto his surfboard at Chopu in like 4-foot waves with this like 15 grand foil that someone sent him, and he was just getting pushed over the reef into the lagoon. And he would ride the wave, hit the end section, and then just run across this reef that would just tear anyone else's feet apart, get on the foil, go through the lagoon, and come back out. And it was just, you know, those guys are classic. I love individuals like them because they give me ideas. I'm like, oh, okay, what can I do?
Yeah, we love individuals like you for that very, very exact reason, mate. It's so inspiring to watch out. What are you thinking for the winter? What's your plans? What are the goals?
I mean, the goals are to spend more time here at Pipeline. You know, it's Pipeline, of all the waves I've been to in the world, seem to be one of the spots that, you know, you just can't roll up. You might get lucky and get a couple of good ones, but like, it is one of the trickiest waves I've ever surfed. I mean, recently we got Ma'alaya, you know, and I had never really surfed it at that size because it hadn't broken since I was like 12 years old. But I remember once I figured it out in, you know, the matter of a couple hours, it was really the most perfect, easy wave to surf, and I felt on. And I kept thinking about Pipeline. I'm like, gosh, the only place I'll probably get this barrel this winter would be at Backdoor Pipeline. But the wave itself takes a lot more figuring out. And, you know, the established crowd and, you know, all those things. So Pipe on my surfing side of things, for sure. I mean, big wave surfing, of course, outer reefs, Peahi, Nazare, Mavericks, the usual. Try to foil the biggest wave of my life this winter, maybe. Do those doubles on big waves, perhaps. I don't know. It's going to be one of those things where if you see a big wave and you're like, I think I can make it, go for it. But most of the time, I'm sure it's going to be like, that's not the section.
Mate, we all appreciate you. The Stoked Bloke appreciates you because you bring a lot of stoke to a lot of people. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, PK. Thank you, peoples. Have a good
Great
night.
to have Kai Lenny on, huh?
Yeah, could you
Remember
believe
that
it?
we were hiding Kai Lenny right here in the back of the Pipeline Studios.
They literally had him tied up at the back there, just holding on to him.
The reason why I never
came.
answered the phone is because back in the closet over there's no cell service.
So keep those submissions coming, grommets. It's week 2 and a lot of prizes to give away. Looking forward to seeing you guys ripping and putting smiles on our dials. Big thanks to Kai Lenny for joining us here on the show today. Big thanks to you guys for watching, and we love yous.